The morning shift begins with a heavy, rhythmic thud. A forklift releases its load,
and a stack of cedar wood slats slams onto the steel conveyor belt. The impact vibrates through the floor, signaling the start of the line. The belt jerks forward, pulling the raw timber into the heart of the machine. Ahead, the CNC routers hum to life, a high-pitched whine that cuts through the ambient factory drone. These blades descend with absolute, cold precision. They bite into the cedar, carving perfectly straight channels into the length of every slat. Wood shavings spray into the air, dancing in the harsh overhead light before being sucked away by the ventilation system. The wood moves in a constant, unwavering flow, entering the cutting zone as flat boards and exiting as grooved templates. There is no hesitation, only the relentless, mechanical repetition of the steel against the grain. Each groove is identical, carved to within a fraction of a millimeter. The cedar is now prepared, its surface transformed from raw timber into a precision-engineered base, ready for the next stage of its assembly. The grooved slats exit the router and slide beneath a new station. Above the belt, a multi-axis robotic arm hovers, its movements fluid and calculated. It dips into a feeder tray and retrieves a thin, dark graphite core. With a sudden, sharp motion, it lowers the core into the center of the waiting cedar channel. It repeats this action in a blur of speed, filling every groove on the line. The belt continues its steady, rhythmic crawl, carrying the filled slats toward the assembly module. Here, a pressurized nozzle sweeps across the surface, coating the wood in a thin, translucent layer of adhesive. The glue glistens under the bright factory lamps. A second stack of flat slats, identical to the first, descends from an overhead hopper. A heavy metal press drops with a muffled, hydraulic hiss. It clamps the top slat firmly onto the grooved base, forcing the wood and the graphite core together. The pressure holds for a split second, ensuring the bond is absolute and permanent. The belt releases, and the joined blocks move forward as a single, solid wooden sandwich. The transformation of the raw components into a functional writing core is now complete, bound by heat and pressure. The bonded wooden blocks advance toward the molding station, entering a confined steel chamber. The air here grows dense with the scent of freshly cut cedar. Inside, heavy-duty cutters engage with a sudden,
jarring roar. These blades do not merely touch the wood, they bite into it, stripping away layers of excess material with aggressive, controlled force.
The blocks are forced through a series of precision dies that squeeze and carve the raw sides into a perfect, six-sided hexagonal shape. The vibration of the machinery travels through the floor, a low-frequency hum that rattles the metal housing. As the pencils exit the molding cavity, a secondary high-speed blade assembly waits at the threshold. These blades spin at thousands of revolutions per minute, trimming the remaining slivers of wood from the exterior. Each pass of the blade creates a smooth, uniform surface, turning the rough carved shapes into standard pencil bodies. The wood shavings are pulled away in a continuous, swirling stream, leaving behind a clean, geometric silhouette. The process is relentless, turning the solid blocks into individual units that travel toward the next station, their form now locked into the familiar hexagonal profile. The pencils transition to the painting line, where a series of spray nozzles bathe them in a dense, yellow mist. Multiple layers of lacquer coat the wood in seconds, followed immediately by a conveyor transit through a glowing heat tunnel. The heat bakes the finish to a hard, glossy sheen that hardens as it exits. Next, a heavy stamping head descends with a metallic click, pressing the brand logo onto the side of each unit in gold foil. The pace is frantic, but the final stage is the most critical. A laser-guided sensor mounted above the belt scans every pencil as it passes. The beam monitors for the slightest crack or alignment error in the wood. It is a moment of cold, mechanical judgment.
When a flaw is detected, a pneumatic piston fires in a blur of movement. It strikes with a sharp, percussive hiss, knocking the compromised pencil off the belt and into the reject bin.
The remaining units continue forward, unbothered by the sudden violence behind them. The line maintains its relentless speed, ensuring that only the flawless, perfectly branded pencils advance toward the final assembly phase. The factory floor hums with the steady rhythm of this relentless sorting process. The final assembly line waits. A robotic arm reaches over the belt, its movements precise and fluid as it presses a metal ferrule onto the end of each unit. A second motion follows instantly, seeding a pink rubber eraser into the hollow tip of the ferrule. The transition is seamless. Once assembled, the pencils slide down a chute into waiting cardboard boxes. As each box fills, it moves along a short track to the sealing station. A worker steps forward, pulls a strip of industrial tape across the lid, and presses it down firmly with both hands. The sound of the tape dispenser tearing is crisp and final. The finished boxes move to the end of the line, where a large, multi-jointed robotic arm waits. It picks up each box, maneuvers with calculated weight, and places it onto a wooden pallet. Layer by layer, the stack grows. The pallet fills, the load stabilizes, and the arm retracts. The production cycle hits a momentary pause. The product stands ready, boxed and organized, waiting for the transport vehicle to arrive. The factory floor quietens as the last pallet is secured, leaving the silence of a task fully realized.